How does boot configuration data (BCD) affect Windows Startup? Imagine trying to start your computer and it just won't boot up properly. You see error messages or your system gets stuck. What's really happening behind the scenes? Well, a key player in this process is the boot configuration data, or BCD for short. The BCD is like a detailed map that guides your computer on how to start Windows. It stores all the necessary information about which operating system to load, what boot options to use, and how to get your system running. Think of it as a control center that tells your computer what to do when it powers on. When you turn on your PC, the Windows Boot Manager reads the BCD store to see what options are available. If you have multiple operating systems installed, the BCD helps you choose which one to start. It also manages special startup modes like safe mode or debug mode, which are useful for troubleshooting. On systems with newer firmware called Unified Extensible Firmware Interface, or UEFI, the BCD file is stored on the FI system partition, a small dedicated part of your drive. For older systems using legacy BIOS, the BCD is stored on the active partition of your hard drive. This setup makes sure your system can find the right boot instructions regardless of the firmware type. The BCD contains entries for critical boot files like WinLoad, exe, which loads Windows, and WinResume, exe, which resumes Windows from hibernation. It also holds information for other Windows versions or bootable volumes if you have a multi-boot setup. Managing the BCD is usually done with tools like BCD Edit or BCD Boot. BCD Edit lets you view, change, or delete boot entries, which can help fix startup problems. BCD Boot is used to create or repair the BCD store, especially after system upgrades or recovery. If the BCD gets corrupted, missing, or misconfigured, Windows might refuse to start. You could see errors like Bootnger is missing or error code Xerox 000000E. Fixing these issues often involves rebuilding or repairing the BCD using the recovery tools. In essence, the BCD acts as the command center for your Windows startup. It makes sure your system loads correctly and securely. When it's working properly, your computer boots smoothly. When it's not, troubleshooting the BCD can often get your system back on track.